Hello, so we're back again for another third mark video, and this time we're in the Object 268-5, the Tier 10 Russian Tank Destroyer Premium Tank. So we do already have a video out of this tank. We have a couple of good replays in it, but this time this is obviously the third mark video, so we got the two games leading up to the third mark and then the actual third mark, which turns out to be a pretty big game. So yeah, it's worth sticking around for. We're on Mannheim, so again it's probably not the most ideal map, but we make it work, don't we? Yeah, so this tank is again, as I sort of said about it on the other video, but it is a tank which I quite enjoyed. I decided to free market this weekend because it was basically the Tier 10 Silver Rock was on, so the double silver. So I was actually making a lot of credits. So that was my main reason for going for the third mark, was just to sort of make silver along the way. And because you've got that AP pen of like 303 penetration, I believe, on this tank, it's a pretty crazy pen for the standard round. You don't really need to use the heat that much. The heat is pretty filthy as well, but yeah, the AP is quite nice really. And yeah, because you've got that 850 alpha gun, and with that speed as well, like you get to sort of like 47 kilometers an hour. I think 48 is the top speed, but you struggle to get there because of the engine power. I guess you could run the engine power boost and you'd get there all the time then, equipment, but I don't use that because I want to use the vents to buff the sort of reload and accuracy, view range, etc. instead. So it's sort of a little bit of an even split. Some of my team's gone left, some of my team's gone right. I sort of decided I'm going to go right with my team this side, but I wanted to stay a little bit ahead of them, a little bit to the left, like a little bit. You know, I didn't want to go. I didn't want to hug the right completely because I wanted to try and get here before them, before my team. So I went a more direct route to try and spot them, because I was thinking, here you go, we spotted this QL, and it's sort of where I was expecting to spot a few tanks at least. And I was hoping that if I did spot them, maybe I'd get some assistance, maybe from our artillery, from our fun police, or maybe from our sort of friendly tanks might get a bit of assistance. But unfortunately, that sort of position I was in, I've not really got any shots. They're a bit too low down in the water, sort of riverbed, and I don't have any shots. I'm not just going to sit there if I can't shoot anyone waiting for them to move in front of my gun. Instead, I'm going to move round and try and find a different angle. And that's exactly what we've done here. We managed to get a shot at this E100. Now, I've kind of found myself now in a really quite nice position because I do have some team guys on my left, and these guys on the right in the lower ground are very distracted by a sort of majority of our force on the right. So this is allowing me to get shots in when they're pushing them out. Unfortunately, I tried to get a shot on the side of that E100. I suspected him to keep reverse back, but he turned and obviously, yeah, caused a ricochet. Bit unfortunate, but you know, we're going to try and get another shot in, and he reverses all the way out. He's getting pushed out. I go for the drive wheel shot, and I set him on fire as well, so I get to pick up that little bit extra damage. So already we're on 1800. This QL's now running, so we're going to take our time, try and get a shot into him. We slap another one into him, traps him in place, and yeah, as you see, I'm using my team to my right as my advantage. They're pushing them out, and they're really distracted, and I'm just getting, you know, just farming shots into these guys. And yeah, you say I've already now picked up some assistance and sort of just over 3k damage. So yeah, it's really nice. There's one guy left in the riverbed. He's not much health, but I think if I can just finish him off. And then unfortunately, I sort of misjudged that shot, and I ended up missing out on that one. Unfortunately, probably should have aimed a little bit better. But yeah, now I'm sort of going to see if I can poke around, get a shot here, see what was spotted. I was kind of thinking, is this leopard on this bridge? But he's obviously a little bit behind this. And yeah, I'm now going to move round. I don't want to be pushing with my team on the right because I'm using them as my distraction at the moment. We can see guys now sort of in the open on the bridge, and this is my opportunity to try and get a few shots into these guys. So we pop round, you see this Jag Tiger, he's fully distracted with our friendly greenies, so we're able to, you know, put a shot straight into the side of him for free, and now we're up to 4k damage. And this is sort of the ideal scenario really, where there's sort of lots of heavy, healthy tanks in front of us. That's the sort of dream. So we're going to go for his engine, see if we can set up a fire. We do. And yeah, so this is good. I was hoping he might burn out, but he gets sort of stuck on 57 health. So I need to take him out. I don't really want to waste a shell on him, but he's got to go, isn't he? So we're just going to have to get him out of the game. So it's a shame to waste 800 damage on a shell on a 57 hit point tank, but we needed to kill him because now we can move on and get some shots into these other guys basically. And we're still healthy, so we can even take a shot now if it means trading a 850 shell into the tanks. So yeah, worked out well quite nicely that. Now we slapped a mouse. You say this has worked out really good for me, this positioning where I've managed to sort of use my team, and like I said, I didn't just stay with them because I wanted to create a different angle, and that's how you win games. If you put different angles onto different your opponents, so they have to focus on more than one angle, that's when you start winning, and that's the sort of situation you want to be in. You don't want to always just be constantly fighting people front on. This mouse was getting a little bit awkward for me to get a shot into him because he was using that sort of protection of that little pillar, but it's okay because I managed to put a shot into the Death Star instead. Now I have swapped to heat. I probably don't need the heat shells, but I probably could use the AP just fine, but I've swapped to heat anyway because I think I was getting close to the mark. I wanted to make sure I penned him, which unfortunately I didn't. I bounced. I think I hit his gun with the heat. But we're just going to try and get one more shell through his turret, and we do, straight through the manlet. And now we're on 7k damage, so we're hoping we can get the last shot into him and finish him off before our sort of friendly gets a shot into him. So we're aiming in the shot in, and we managed to pick up the kill. And now we're on 8,139 damage and sort of just over 1,000 assistance. So yeah, quite a nice game really. All that's left is the two thumpies. I'm sort of driving to where they are, but let's be honest, I don't think I'm going to get there now. But it's okay because I've managed to get a pretty decent game out of a map I wasn't looking forward to playing. So yeah, and it's one of them games where I've not even been shot. Usually I'm losing some hit points, but this one was just sort of free farm really, so I haven't really lost any health. Now we go for the snapshot because we don't have enough time to aim it in, and unfortunately we miss. And yeah, so we're not going to get any more damage out of this one. We're just waiting for our friendlies to kill the fun police, and then we'll move on to the next one. But yeah, there we go. Friendly picks up the fun police kill, and all what's left is to see the final score. So we picked up 3 kills, 8,139 damage, 1,237 assistance. We got a second mark, high caliber, and ace tanker. So that's it for this replay, and we will see you in a bit for the second replay. Hello, so we're back again for the second replay of the video. This time we're on vineyards. We've got 1 artillery, and it's important to note that we actually don't have any light tanks on our team. Now, it's going to be one of those videos where it just sort of demonstrates the importance of reading a map and knowing when to push, basically, to make sure you stay ahead of the damage. When you're going for those 3 marks, like, you always want to be where the damage is, basically, and you don't want a game to get away from you. So this is a really important one where basically I'll sort of say where the reason, at what point I realise that I'm going to need to make a push, and yeah, we'll see as we get to it. So far, we're going to move to sort of the usual position I do from this spawn. We're going to go north. I don't like to go right up on the hill in the north. I like to go to the hill, but I like to stay a little bit lower nowadays, just because otherwise every time you poke, the artillery just destroys you. There's no fun police in the game, and you don't have to worry about that. But we're moving on. You can notice, one simple thing, my gun's facing where I think an enemy's going to be, and obviously there is a tank which has just been spotted there. We go for a little cheeky snapshot because, we're unlikely to hit, but you never know, do you? You might do in these 6 points. So it doesn't hit, but it could have. So that's why it's important to always sort of have your turret facing there, as well as the fact that the front of my turret armour is stronger. So I'm moving over this way, and then as you can see, I can see we pushed quite aggressively our sort of tank destroyer over there, and he didn't spot a lot, and the rest of our team is just pushed straight over. So that doesn't normally happen, but it has this time, and that means I need to push. I know there's nothing there because our team's there, so there's literally no point of me staying further back. And if I stay it's important I go straight away now because I've got so many teammates behind me. If I get the spots on their team, which is clearly camping in their spawn because there's no other place for them to be right now, because you can see by just looking at the map, I'm going to get the assistance damage, and that's exactly what you want when you're going for these 3 marks. And already I picked up 1,000 assistance because I was able to spot a few things down there. I am targeted, but I'm going to keep moving and try and use the ridge to sort of my advantage so I can't get shot. I know where their team is, they're all camping on their spawn, and we're going to box them in so they're going to have a really difficult time. By me pushing up here, it's helped the fact that I've got no light tanks in my team, but I'm getting all the assistance, and I'm on 2k assistance already, which is brilliant when you're going for those marks. And now that's it, I've spotted this Polish. If this was one of our other teams which has spotted this type of thing, he would have had all the assistance, but because I got there early, I'm now on 3k assistance, and just move. There we go, start of the game, 4,000 assistance, and that's all because I moved at the right time. If I waited any later than that to move up, I wouldn't have got the assistance, or at least the assistance would have been split with someone else. And this is just, it's a dream scenario really when you're going for a 3rd mark. I've already done my 3rd mark damage in this tank already, and I haven't really had to do a lot, have I? I've just had to push up and spot a few things. It's just sometimes it's worth just playing that a little bit more aggressive. I wasn't just playing stupidly aggressive, I was thinking about it. We knew by looking at that big map, that's why I like to have the big map out open at the start, and then when I get in situations like this I swap to the smaller map because I want to know exactly where things are. Because then you could work out where the team was. You just have to look at the map, you look where my tanks can see, it's obvious where they're going to be. And I'm just going to move up now because the rest of their team, or the majority of their team's just been pushed right back to this corner, and this is why you don't want to be sitting in the base all the time, because if you just let a team dominate you like we just have here, you get boxed in, and then you're gonna lose. Once you're boxed in like this, you're gonna lose the game, aren't you? Really, that's why taking the map control is so important. Now, I don't even mind if this guy shoots me at this point, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to put a shot in, and now we're on to 4k damage as well. And I'm still fairly healthy. There's a TD down here, but a lot of our tanks are now going to be moving in. So at this point, I'm like, we can go for 1-for-1. You can trade, put a shot into me, I don't mind, as long as I get one into you. And now I'm on a 1-shot, well, we're both in a 1-shot to each other, but it's fine. I just wanted that extra damage, and I was prepared to lose the hit points, because you can't take the hit points with you to the next game. So sometimes it's just better to use them and get that extra shot of damage in. You don't always have to be trying to save your hit points, because sometimes you can just sort of work out that you're not going to need any more, and it's okay to lose some health. We're going to move in now. Like I say, these have all gone straight in on him. That's why I made sure I traded that shot earlier. We're going to see if we can pick up the kill. We do, and this game is a very fast-paced game, and we basically just got 10k combined, and it's only just started, isn't it? Really, the game's over. It's over before it's begun, and that's why it was important to make that push. Had I just been sitting back at the ridge, I probably, I still might have got an okay game, but I wouldn't have got 10k combined because the game would have got away from me. We're moving up now, sort of a bit of just hope that I get there to get a shot in more than anything, but realistically it's not going to happen. We're trying to now just find where this leopard is. I don't know where he is. I'm assuming he was going to be up here with that heavy basically, so I'm just going to move up and see if we can find him, and just if we get lucky we'll get an extra shot of damage in this game, but it's more hope than anything at this point. But either way, it's been a good game, isn't it? We've got 10k combined, and that's why I put this replay up, because I just thought it just demonstrated how to read the map basically. And that's one little thing I do like to do, is I like to use the big map like now, and then when I'm in engagement where I need to know where everything is, I just swap to the smaller one. and then I just swap backwards and forwards. We know where the leopard is now, so he's going to kill the artillery. I'm just going to go most direct route possible, just to hope that I can get there before my team. I think at this point I'll swap to the HE, because I know I can actually pen the leopard with a HE shell. So I'm thinking, you know, he might be full health for all I know, and then I'll be able to potentially get a lot of damage in. But he's not, he's only on like 200 hit points now, and it's clear that I'm not going to make it at this point, but it's not as bad too much, because it wouldn't give me much more damage, only an extra kill. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You see, he gets shut down. That's it for this replay. And what's left is to get to that scoreboard, and we'll see exactly how we managed to get on. We picked up 4 kills, 5,692 damage, 4,800 assistance. We've got second mark, ace tanker, high caliber, and you see that's quite a nice little game, that one. So yeah, I will see you in a bit for the last replay of the video, which is the third mark game. Hello, so we're here for the final replay of the video, and this time we're on Desval, and this is when we achieve our third mark of excellence, and it just so happens to be the best game out of the lot. So yeah, we're on Desval, obviously one of the new maps again. It's out of the 3, it's, you know, I guess it's my one I like the most out of the 3. You know, if I had to pick one, it'd be this one. And that's not to say I still like it for World War II, but out of all of them, you know, it's the one which I prefer. So yeah, we're gonna just push over. At the start of this game, I mean, their side normally gets an advantage at winning the hill, but I'm gonna push across that hill early area anyway, because it is team destruction, and it does sort of change the spawns a little bit. And where they're located, I'm thinking they may sort of push over here, so I'm going to have to try and get here as quickly as I can and not hang about, because I don't want to get caught out and get shot crossing, which is a risk, but I'm going to take pushing over here quickly. But again, you know, you've got to take those little bits of risk, and it's the only really way of getting up to the hill quickly. So yeah, I'm going to push over, and basically my mindset at the start was I was going to try and take the hill, but as I do that, we see this leopard crossing, and we're thinking, right, let's just make sure we get a nice shot into this, aim it, pre-aim it, and we do. We get a shot in, but then another tank, the Sheridan, crosses, and I'm like, oh god, I'm not going to have time to get in up at that hill and without taking damage. So I pulled back round, and I'm sort of now reversed round and sort of reverse side scraping off this tiny little ridge. And it's worked out right, because I've managed to get another shot into this left crossing, putting them on a one shot to pretty much anything, and giving me some juicy damage. Yeah, and more things are now crossing. You know, they're seeing their mate get slapped, and they're thinking, I want to get slapped as well. And you know, we're more than happy to oblige. So we put a shot into that Skoda, and now we're just going to use this position like this, because it's worked out alright actually. I mean, I wasn't planning on doing this, but the tanks are coming in front of me, and yeah, this is thank you very so much. We're going for a third mark. I think it was quite a bit off, it was like at least 1% off of the third mark before this game, but it's been a good start, isn't it? And there's no fun police in this one, and we're just thinking, yeah, this is you know, a good start. Let's see if we can make this a good game, basically. And we're going to move up, but now there's not, you know, we see this Polish tank in. Can we get another shot into him? It looks like he's just got out of cover, but no, we do manage to put a shot into him. And yeah, so far all of our shots hit, and we picked up like 4k damage, so it's been quite nice. Now I think that is the most we're going to get out of that little spot we're in. So it's about time we pushed the hill, because I hadn't actually seen anything take the hill, but again, you know, I haven't necessarily lit it all of the hill, because it was in that location. But yeah, what a great start to the game. Got 4,000 damage, and we're going to see if we can move over now to get a shot into that Conqueror basically, which was there. And as we move over, yeah, we can see his shot. He's getting pushed by a team, so we actually half aim that shot, and it goes straight through. So it's almost a sign that good things are going to happen when you get shots like that hit. They don't always hit like that. So now we're on 5k damage. We pop round here, and we know there's this E3. So I'm going to try and get a shot into his lower plate. I'm going to try and guess it through this wall. Unfortunately I do hit him, but it looks like I hit the track and don't go through his lower plate. You know, I had to sort of guess that. I didn't want to drive through the wall because then he would have definitely shot at me and I would have lost a lot of hit points. But our Sheridan mate's coming around behind now and he's going to help us out here. I'm not just going to push in front of this E3. If he wants to hard aim me and die to the Sheridan, then so be it. I'm going to let him die to the Sheridan. You know, I'm hoping he's going to turn around and get a shot in. But you know, I didn't want to risk getting slapped. But he has moved around now, and now it's my opportunity to put a shot into him, which we do, and we trap him in place. Yeah, he's now, you know, an unfortunate situation for him to be in. There's not much he can really do now, is there? Because he's got a Sheridan behind him. It was in a tricky situation. But we're going to push around and see if we can get the finishing kill shot into him. And we do. So yeah, we're on sort of 6k damage now. And we're still full health. And there's still 7 tanks in the game. And all of our team are in that one location. So that means that we should be able to get ahead of what's rest. But, you know, maybe even get some assistance damage now. That's why I'm pushing down to this location. To make sure, you know, I was hoping to see if we can get any more shots in. This S-Barn's got spotted, so we aim the shot in, we hit him, and now we're on to 7k damage. And that's, you know, it's getting to those situations where I needed a percent, I think, to mark it. And, you know, I haven't got a percent yet. 7k won't do me percent, but there's still a lot of tanks in. And we've seen this TVP. You know, our team doesn't seem to have noticed he's there right now, so I've got an opportunity to put a shot in. We do. And now I'm just going to push. I'm full health, so I can take a shot. Even if I run into these big nasty TDs, I can take a shot. So it's going to pay for me to push and try and get some assistance damage in now, because everything now is getting closer to that 3 marks of excellence. And we just picked up 1,000 assistance. We know this Jagdtiger, Jack E100's over here now. There's definitely other tanks, but we're thinking, right, we've got a great opportunity to be the first one there to spot them. And then we've got all our team behind them. We might get some nice assistance here. We've just seen the Waffle E100 right in the corner of the map. And we'll just keep pushing, because we're thinking, you know, if they shoot me, so be it. You know, if I get anything more, you know, that's what I want now. And I've got to be aggressive to get that extra shots in. And we get a shot straight through the side wall. And then we get a very lucky bounce off of that Jag E100. So yeah, it's almost like the stars have aligned right now when you get bounces like that. We're going to push up. We're getting all the assistance because of this Waffle E100. We're going to slap a shot into him. There is a TD to my right, which is probably going to shoot me, but it's okay because, you know, we managed to pick up that shot and the assistance in that Waffle E100. So I'm thinking I've probably marked it now, but I just want to see if I can get an extra shot into him. You know, just get one more shot into him, and then I definitely probably would have got the mark which I need. So we're going to move over. It looks like he's sort of climbing, so we stop, we wait to see if we can get a shot, and unfortunately he matrixed me a bit there. He stopped, and I didn't get that shot in, which is a shame, because maybe I should have held that shell, because I could have put a shot into him right here, and that would have given me a bit more damage, maybe get us above the 10k mark. But we do pick up the kill, and yeah, that's quite an action-packed game, isn't it? We were just, yeah, one of them scenarios, which is exactly what we wanted, really. We see we picked up the 3rd mark. We got the ace tanker. We got the high caliber. We think we've got 9,700 damage. We've got 2,500 assistance. So yeah, it was a blinder, wasn't it? And yeah, obviously that was one where we achieved our 3rd mark. So really happy with that. I hope you enjoyed watching the replays. And as always, happy tanking.